Hey, how you doing, supercoders? Welcome back to our new lecture. In this lecture, we will be solving pattern 12. So basically, if we get an input 5, we have to print this particular pattern. Let's straight away get ahead with the pattern and go to our open board. So basically, if the user enters the value of n is equal to 5, we have to print this pattern. Let's decode it. So if the value of n is 5, this pattern will be having 5 rows. This is the first observation. The second observation is that each element of this pattern is nothing but a Fibonacci series. And you already know what is Fibonacci series. It's something like this: 0, 1, 1, where the first element is 0 and second element is 1, and then each succeeding element from the third element to the nth element is basically the sum of the previous two elements. I again reiterate, from the third element, every succeeding element will be the sum of the previous two elements. Okay. Now, basically, first we will be printing this pattern and then this, and then we will modify our code to print this pattern. Okay. We already know how to print a basic star pattern, and I'm not going to go deep inside this because I have full confidence on my supercoders that they already know how to print this. Now we will be going inside our magic for loop, which I have discussed in the magic pattern concepts. Okay, now till I plus 1, we are going to be printing the star. This star got printed and it will be ending with a tab each time. And then once we are out of this for loop, we have to make sure that the cursor moves to the next line. And like this, our desired output will be printed. Let's run it. The answer will be wrong obviously right now because we are making a skeleton of the program. So let's say that instead of using the val variable this time, I'm using a variable and I'm giving it a value 0, and each time I want this variable a to be printed. Okay, now let's run it again. Yes, we are getting our desired skeleton that we had wanted. Now let's modify the program a little bit from over here. So each time I'm just printing the value of a. So can I say that if I want to modify from here to here, I just need to update the value of a? And we already know how we print a Fibonacci series, but for your quick revision, let's do that. So first we take the initial values of a and b as a as 0 and b as 1, and after that I simply need to print the next value as this, and the next value will be this a double dash b double dash. I mean, this is when the printing is happening for the first time. This is when the printing of a is happening for the second time, and this is when the printing of a is happening for the third time. Okay, I hope that this much is clear to you. So what is our basic focus over here? That we just need to make sure that each time b is having the next value, b is having this value. So for example, if over here for this iteration b should be containing this value, so for that we take another variable that is c, and we will store the value of a plus b inside c. Then we will update the value of a with b and b with c. We have to update this value once we have printed the initial value of a. So let's code it now. I hope that this much is very much clear to you because we have already covered this. Now I'm simply going to take the initial value of b as 1. If you did not understand it right now as well, then I highly suggest you to watch first the Fibonacci, how to print the Fibonacci numbers. However, I will be doing a quick revision again for this particular part of the program. And the value of a is updated with b and b is given the value c. Let's run it and then I will give you another view of it, and let's submit it. So this is the final video for this particular pattern series. So I will be doing a coder's job. And with this, I end my series of lectures on patterns, which is having this series. Bye. Okay, I had to revise that thing. So basically, what we are doing is each time we are taking the value, this is the first value of A. Then in the next iteration, we are updating the value of A to this. And to store this value, the next value of B, I want that B comes over here in the next iteration. As you can see that initially B was here and then B came here. So if I want that this value is stored inside B, this value is stored inside B, then I simply have to perform these operations. With this, I end this video.